covering Northern California. You're watching Action News Now, coverage you can count on.
We're creating an economic pipeline, strengthening school food systems, harnessing our connection to Mother Earth.
The governor and First Partner celebrating Earth Day at Chico State's University Farm. We show you what local students had to teach them. Plus, new at 6, get ready for agriculture to expand into entertainment. We show you a big step forward today for historic Haas Farms. But first.
Every time I see a dog, I just hear Athena's voice.
We've been following the story of that Chico State student recently killed by an ex-boyfriend. Now her family is working to honor her legacy. The parents of 21-year-old Athena Pasadakis, who was killed by her ex-boyfriend earlier in Chico this month, are planning a new memorial in her honor. Action News Now reporter Blake Mayfield is live at the Benton Dog Park in Redding. Blake, why do her parents want to put a memorial there specifically?
Haley, Mary and George Pasadakis tell me that they want to put Athena's memorial here at the Benton Dog Park because this was a place that she grew up loving. Athena would often dog sit and take her family's dogs out here to enjoy the Benton Dog Park. Athena had an affinity for dogs, even taking care of her own dog in Chico at the time of her death. Her family constantly had multiple dogs in the house, helping strengthen her bond with the furry animals. Athena was set to graduate from Chico State next month and will now have her sister accept her degree posthumously from the university next week. Earlier today, I talked with Mary and George here at Benton Dog Park. In addition to donating proceeds that were originally for her funeral to upgrading the park here, Mary and George Pasadakis tell me they plan to put a memorial here to honor her memory and legacy.
Thinking maybe a little stand with a nice plaque with her picture and then maybe a story about her life. It's just such a tragedy what happened, but her whole life was a series of difficulties that she overcame.
While Athena was going to school in Chico for the past 2 years to earn a bachelor's in health services administration, she grew up here in Redding, with the dog park becoming one of her most beloved places. And right now, Mary and George have a fundraiser to help pay for the upgrades and their daughter's memorial, with more than $16,000 of the $40,000 goal already being met. And Haley, if you come here to the Benton Dog Park, you'll probably see signs like this one that have a QR code on them. If you scan that QR code, you'll be able to access the fundraiser page where you can help donate for Athena's memorial and upgrades here at the Benton Dog Park. Reporting live in Redding, I'm Blake Mayfield, Action News Now.
All right, thank you, Blake. We apologize for some of those audio issues you heard there. If you'd like to help pay for Athena's memorial, we do have a link on our website. New developments for the man arrested after being shot by Redding police in March. David Schaefer was arraigned today on multiple charges, including assault with a deadly weapon on a peace officer. The Shasta County DA's office says Schaefer was wounded after accelerating his vehicle toward an officer when they tried to arrest him on a felony warrant in the Safeway parking lot on Cypress Avenue. The court set bail at $360,000. A preliminary hearing is set for May 1st. New at 6, the Shasta County Board of Supervisors unanimously approved the rezoning of historic Haas Farm today. That means Haas Farm has essentially been given the green light to expand and operate rides. It was previously just zoned to operate as a corn maze and pumpkin patch. The ordinance will take effect in 30 days. Now a live look out in Durham. I don't think it's a live look, just an earlier look. That's right. And again, we're seeing those honeybees kind of buzzing around out there. We saw them in Redding. I mean, spring is in session, Howie. It's gorgeous outside. Can't complain.
I don't think the honeybees can complain either. Hey, they're having a great time out there. Maybe a little breezy for them. We'll see a few breezy days over the next several, but for the most part, so the changes are going to be these temperatures you're looking at. They are going to start to dwindle down a little bit, just temporarily. We'll go over it all. But right now in the valley, above average by close to 10 degrees in the low to mid 80s in some spots. Up there in Weaverville right now, a little cooler at 70. Alchira 63. Chester sitting at 67 degrees. Now, we are a little breezy today. Winds gusting out of the southeast. We're seeing a few winds gusting about 25 miles per hour, but that's less than what we had on Friday and not quite the 50 we had just a couple weeks ago. But again, for frost advisory for I lost my thought for Trinity County. We could be chilly, so you want to protect those plants and those pets. And we'll talk more about it coming up in a few minutes, Haley.
Stay focused, Howie. Tehama County is facing pushback from its own staff as it tries to fill its public works director role following Jim Simon's resignation. Specifically, who can fill the role of road commissioner? Supervisor Matt Hansen says the county requires the road commissioner be a civil engineer, and the current interim public works director isn't one. Well, today the board discussed temporarily hiring North Star, a local engineering firm, to cover that area of expertise. However, Hansen says when staff requested to have the position filled internally, Supervisors Patty Nolan and Robert Burrows flipped their decision, voting against the contract. Hansen says the decision subjects the county to liability and delays planned work. He promises to play by the rules to find the right candidate regardless. New at 6, California launched a first-of-its-kind tool for education and career planning. Governor Gavin Newsom says the Cradle to Career data system links data sets from K through 12 in higher education, social services, and workforce entities. He says uniting this information through the course of somebody's life is going to provide insight on education and career outcomes, workforce trends, and more. The data will be broken down by demographics and region to help address areas of strength and needed growth. If you'd like to check it out, we have the tool available on our website. Click on News Links. Today, U.S. Army Private James Stanley Mitchell finally returned home after losing his life in World War II. Police and the Patriot Guard escorted his remains through Hamilton City. That was his hometown. Now, back in 1941, he enlisted in the Army and was deployed to the Philippines. But the Japanese took control over the island after Pearl Harbor, forcing Mitchell to endure the Bataan Death March. He survived that, but he did die as a Japanese prisoner of war in 1943, weighing 70 pounds. This made him the first World War II casualty from Hamilton City, and today he finally made it home. Action News Now reporter Nathan Espandula is live at Brucey's funeral home in Chico, where the remains are now. Nathan, what does this mean for the community now that his remains are back?
People from Hamilton City told me they feel a sense of peace and closure now that their soldier is finally back home. This is what it looked like today just before noon as the procession bringing the remains of Private Stanley Mitchell drove through his Hamilton City hometown more than 80 years after he died in World War II. I spoke with locals who came out to honor him as the police escorted him by. One man told me that while he didn't know of Mitchell until recently, but it still meant a lot for him to be able to pay tribute to the fallen soldier.
Life is gone. Here's a kid that's gone. You know, he went in the service. He had great hopes and things when he come back. He was planning out things when he come back, but it's too bad he never got to do that.
The procession continued on to Chico, where I am now at the Brucey Funeral Home. Chico firefighters and more local veterans were here to greet him when he arrived early this afternoon. I also spoke with Hank Eyrick, who is Hamilton City's volunteer fire division chief and a former Vietnam veteran. Eyrick told me that as a veteran, he was pleased to see how many people in our community cared to honor this fallen hero. Live in Chico, I'm Nathan Espandula, Action News Now.
Okay, thank you, Nathan. Another ceremony to honor Mitchell will be held in Hamilton City on May 3rd, and later that day his burial will take place in Los Molinas, where Mitchell will be buried alongside his family. Well, you can learn more about what's being done to keep you safe in Siskiyou County. Tomorrow, there will be a public safety community meeting at the Dunsmuir Community Building from 7 to 8:30 p.m. It's your chance to talk to county departments, give feedback, and meet the sheriff. If you can't make it out tomorrow, the next meeting is set for Doris on May 8th. This Earth Day, we're shining a light on the dangers of microplastic and what you can do to avoid exposure. Plus, running for safety. This slide causing major shutdowns for your drive too. We're going to show you where.